Welcome to the Like a Doss podcast, where Ronnie Doss shares insights regarding life, leadership, and personal development. For more of our resources, visit ronniedoss.com. Now, let's join the podcast.
So if there's anything that I am becoming clearer on as I get a little bit older and build my business and my career and my family, it's that you need good people around you. And I'm going to talk about that, like what you need to look for here. You've probably heard all this before as far as who you need around you. You become like the 5 people whose income, your income becomes like your 5 closest friends' income and all that stuff. You average it out. But I think there's a lot to this. And so I'm going to hit on this really quickly because I want to inspire you and encourage you and motivate you to take some action in your life and to identify who the people are that are going to be your lock arms, get it done, push through, make stuff happen circle. Like we're moving into a new year. And if just because the calendar changes doesn't mean that your life will, right? Like I'm very clear on that. You've got to do some work on the inside of you, confronting some of your old stories, some of your fears, some of the stuff that you know runs you. And you got to be willing to kick the door down, moving into a new place and a new mindset. Because if you're just knocking at the door and walking by it thinking somebody's going to open the door for you and give you access to the next level when you haven't done the work and you haven't identified who you need around you to help you do the work, things are not really going to get better for you. You just get older. You don't get better. You've heard me say that before. It's easy to get old. It takes work to get better. So I want to talk to you about a few people that I think could help you that you need around you. First thing, you got to have some people around you that understand your vision. Now, when I say understand it, they don't understand all the details of it. They may not know all the details. You may not know all the details. You just have a vision. But when I say they understand it, is that they're willing to understand, stand under, or stand alongside you, supporting you as you move towards it. It's like people wanting to borrow some money. It's like, well, if you haven't walked with me through the challenge to where I am generating the amount of income that I am now, what makes you think that I want to let you have some money? Like if you haven't starved with me, what makes you think that you get to eat with me or feast with me? And that might sound a little rude or a little bit brash, but I'm just telling you, you got to tighten this thing up if you want to move forward. And you got to have people around you that understand where you're going. I got some great friends. They don't know exactly what I do every day on the day-to-day. They don't know all the details of my day, but they understand that there's a vision that I have for my life and that there's a level I want to get to reach people and make an impact. And so they understand that. They stand alongside me. And if there's something that hits the fan and I'm struggling, I can pick up the phone and call them and go, hey, you need to chat for a second and unload some stuff, offload some stuff. And they're there to help me get back in my lane and keep moving forward. I do the same for them. They do that for me. That's what friendship and relationships are really about. Friendships are not about, oh, I liked your stuff on Facebook. I love you so much. You're awesome. That's crap. I mean, that's good. That's about as deep as the thinness of a dollar bill, right? There's just no depth to that. I love social media and I appreciate all the support that I have of people that encourage me and send me notes on social media and Facebook and messaging. That's awesome. But you got to have people around you that you can reach out to that understand your vision and where you're going, and they won't let you pull off of your path. I've said it so many times before. I heard it from Jim Rohn years ago. He said, you won't let somebody shove you off your path, but you will let someone slowly nudge you off your path. And over time, you wind up off path. You're moving towards something that you thought was in one direction, but now because you've been nudged off your path and keep moving forward, you're not moving in the right direction anymore. You're lost. And so having people that can understand your vision, that can lock arms beside you and keep you in your lane, that's huge. The second thing you need somebody that understands your vision. The second thing is you need somebody that will hold you accountable. Like somebody that can give you feedback without you getting your feelings hurt and wanting to run to your mama. Like, oh, I can't believe they said that. I'm so offended. The old saying, if you get offended with every rub, how can you ever expect to be polished? I just think that's so true. And I think people get their feelings hurt because they think that what they have is so special and they're so unique. Let me tell you something. You're not so unique. I heard this quote recently. It said, if you want to realize that you're unique, you first must realize that you are not. If you want to be unique, work for it. There's nothing special about you. There's nothing special about me. There's 8 billion people on this planet. You might have some unique gifts, but you're going to have to work for it, right? You got to do the work and you got to have some people telling you how you can get better. If you don't want feedback, really, you're not open to feedback. You won't ask people that you think are trusted friends of yours that could have some insight you don't have and say, hey, how do you think I could get better? If you won't ask for that, then you're just in la la land, delusional, and you're fearful, and your emotions and your emotional immaturity is keeping you from improving. Feedback is gold. My mentor that I worked for all those years, you know what he used to say? He'd say, feedback is the breakfast of champions. If you don't want feedback, you don't want to grow. And that's true. I go do events. He'd show up. He'd had 10 pages of notes, even if I crushed it at the event. And I did crush it because that's what I do. But no, I'm kidding. I didn't always crush it, but most of the time. But he always had feedback regardless. And so that's how we get better. And so you need some people around you to help you stay accountable, right? The third thing you need is you need some people that really understand what it's like when you walk through tough times, and that they'll just listen. Like, you know, you don't always need somebody that's going to fix you. That's one of the things I got to look out for in my life, because I'm like, you know, I work with people sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, teams, individuals, coaching, working, helping people make adjustments to their life. And so if somebody that's a friend comes to me and they're struggling with something, there's a tendency for me to jump right in to fix it coach mode. And, you know, and I got to be careful with that, because sometimes it's not that people don't want to be fixed. It's just sometimes people just want to be heard. And you want people around you that will listen to you from the human being standpoint, not from the place of, oh my gosh, you got to be high output. You got to be crushing it all the time. You got to be making it happen. Like, that's 90% of the time. But every now and then you got to just be human and be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to sit here for the next half hour and I'm going to cry and I'm going to get this out of me. But then when I get it out of me, I'm going to step back in and I'm going to get back to work. Right? Recently, you guys know I lost a friend of mine, and like, I felt it. I felt it for a while, and I had to allow myself to feel it. I couldn't walk around the house going, you don't feel this, you don't feel this. I had to feel it. It brought a lot of things to the forefront for me around health. It brought a lot to the forefront as far as like relationship and what I need to be doing on my day to day, how I need to be attacking the day and being inspired and grateful for the day, because time's not guaranteed. Like that happens. And so having some people around you that will sit with you and listen to you. My wife, Jennifer, she does that so well. Sometimes she just sits and listens. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman's going to think I'm crazy. You know, but 16 years in, we're still together and she still loves me, I think. I'm pretty sure she tells me all the time. Anyway, but like, you know, we need people that just let us be human. And so you need some people around you that understand your vision, that will hold you accountable, but also people that will let you be human. And if you have that, listen, you're lucky. You don't need a lot of friends. You just need a few good ones. And so my action step on this, because I want to leave you with something today. I want to leave you with this, is, are you a good friend? Are you the kind of person that is working to understand the vision of those closest to you? Are you doing anything to try and figure out what it is that they're doing? The few friends that you have, do you know what they need and how you can support them? Do you? Have you ever asked? You need to be that friend. If you want to have a friend, you got to be a friend. And so sometimes I think we need to check ourselves and go, wait a minute, what kind of friend am I? Also, am I holding anybody accountable? Like, is anyone asking me to hold them accountable? Or am I asking, is there something that I can do on the day-to-day to support you? Can I check in, send you a text at a certain time? Is there a phone call I can make? Is there something you're struggling with? Because how we love people and how they need to be loved sometimes are very different. So if we want a friend, we got to be a friend. And so we need to look, are we trying to understand our friend's vision? Are we helping to keep them accountable? And the last thing, like I talked about, you want somebody that will listen to you and allow you to be human. Are you doing that for other people? Are you creating space to where if somebody's struggling, that they know they can reach out to you and you'll take time? Like I heard it was a quote, and it said, the greatest gift you can give another person is your undivided attention. And so that's a big thing. We need to be those type of people. We can't get frustrated because of how politicians are and religious leaders and all these people that are running their mouth all the time, complaining and stirring up all this kind of stuff. All these people are so stupid. Yeah, there's stupid people out there, but we don't focus on them. What we need to focus on are what we can do to make the world better. We overpower all the stupidity and all the negativity with the good stuff, right? We don't fight the bad. We just become the good, and we focus on what we can do. And I think if we do that, we start to enrich the relationships we have around us. And it makes our life better. Like our life is better, and the people around us, their life is better. And you don't have to have a lot of people, just a few really good ones. And so look at that, right? Like look at your circle and look at what you're bringing to the circle. And if you think of a tide that raises all the ships, like what's the tide you're bringing in? Like, are you really raising the ships, the relationships in your life, right? Are you really doing that? The partnerships, are you making them better? So which is it? Just take a look at that. Maybe when you're done with this podcast, you reach out to somebody you know, just thank them. Say, hey, just thinking about you. Just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And I'd like for our relationship to make sure that we're moving forward and we're checking in with each other, because this relationship really matters. Doing things like that, I think, are huge. It's very important. So with that being said, go out there and make today awesome. Do something today that maybe you wouldn't have done, that you were hesitating on. Don't procrastinate. It will rob the opportunities of your life. It really will. And it just becomes a habit. So get out there today, do what you do. We got an event coming up this Friday. I know we're getting close to it, but it's called our Emerge event, Tempe, Arizona. If you're in the area, fly. We got people coming in from different states. It's going to be an awesome day, 8 hours of empowerment. We're taking on some stuff. This is going to be boot camp for your mind. This isn't a feel-good, sugar high kind of thing. It's called our Emerge event, and get registered for that. It's going to be awesome. And if you want some videos and stuff, go to ronniedoss.com. Hundreds of videos there to help you. If you like this today, please share it. Please tag somebody on it. Do something, because listen, we got to do this work. Our uploads, our downloads, all the different loads from this podcast, they're going up, and we like reaching people. And so if we've made an impact at all for you, share it with somebody else. You never know what they're going to get out of it. I appreciate who you are. Keep leading, keep doing. This is Ronnie Doss. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.